Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimati Swamiti Namo altogether Krishna Pradaya Krishna Prasaya Srimati Bhakti Siddhanta Sarasvati Gauravani Pracharine Nirvasesha Shunyavati Tasya Keshakarine Namaste Sarasvati Gauravani Pracharine Nirvasesha Shunyavati Can you hear? Put your thumb up if you can hear. Okay, put your thumbs up if you can hear. Yes. Jagavandi, you can hear? Put your thumb up if you can hear. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Yadeka Gadadha Srivasadi Gora Bhaktavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Yadeka Gadadha Srivasadi Gora Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Govind Madhava Ki Jai Shri Shri Krishna Balaram Ki Jai Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Agoda Premanandi. All glorious to the assembled devotees. All glorious to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glorious to Sri Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. So welcome everybody. Wonderful to see you all and to be with you in this evening. This evening we're going to be continuing with the prayers of Prahlada Maharaja from the 5th canto. They will be on the screen fairly shortly. We have to tell them that it's an unlimited duration. Okay. Tonight we've been transformed into an unlimited duration. That means to say there should be no break. We paid a little fee, and now Zoom have given us unlimited time. So you can stay as long as you like. You can leave when you like. It's entirely up to you. And we hope you're all in good health. I know the situation we're all in is a little unusual, but as Prabhupada said one time, when the devotees were saying, Prabhupada, we're missing your association so much. And Prabhupada said, well, you're chanting there, and I'm chanting here, and someone else is chanting somewhere else. He said, in this way, we're all packed up together. We're all locked up together. So we may be in different parts of the world. I see devotees from America, from Europe, of course, different places in Europe, and India, Malaysia, Philippines, Australia, New Zealand, maybe a few other places, I don't know, Singapore maybe, a few other countries, but different countries around the world, Russia. But wherever we are, in reality, we're all together because we're trying to put Krishna in the center of our lives. This is what makes unity, this is what keeps us together. So this evening, we're going to start off by the Bhagavatam reading by chanting Jai Radha Madhava. So please join us. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Okay. Yasodanandana Vrajajana Yasodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Vrajajana Yamuna Tira Vanari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gaur Premanandi Hare Krishna Shri Prabhupada ki jai Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namane Namaste Sarasvati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nivasesha Sunyavadi Vastichade Shatarni. I'd especially like to thank the devotees in Australia, New Zealand, Philippines, maybe Malaysia, I don't know. But the time for you, Singapore, must be something in the middle of the night, especially Malaysia and Philippines. I think it's about 1 o'clock in the morning there, something like that, if there's anyone from those countries. And in Australia, I guess it's, I don't know, 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't know, something like that, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. And New Zealand's like 5 or 6 in the morning. So it's it's wonderful to see your sincerity and enthusiasm to join us at that time of the day in your locale. I am planning, if I can get my, let's say, my schedule, my daily routine a little bit more organized, a bit more regulated by normal ISKCON standards. I'm planning to do something which is more suitable to the devotees on the other side of the world for at least 1 day a week. But that we'll have to see after the weekend. For now, it will be Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m. France time. So thank you again. And this evening we're going to now, I hope you've got it on the screen, the verse.
Not on your computer.
Oh,
but it's okay.
It's not really. You won't be able to get it now, will you?
Maharaj, if you continue, I'll get it in 2 minutes.
Okay, hopefully in a few minutes we'll have the verse on the screen because we're using a different computer tonight and unfortunately it's not on this computer, but we hope it'll be there shortly. So this is the 5th canto, 18th chapter of the Bhagavatam, text number 9. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So I'll have to read through. I don't think the verse is up yet. It's just now coming. You might catch it shortly. Svasyastu vishvasya kalakasidatam. Jayantu bhutani shivang mitodiya. Manascha bhadrang bhajatadad hokshaye. Aveshatam no matirapyohetuki. This is a verse, again, a prayer of Prahlada Maharaj. We heard on Wednesday the prayers of Prahlada Maharaj, where he was particularly appealing to the Lord, to Lord Nrsingadev. Here it comes. I think you might. Can they see it yet?
They will be able to.
They will?
Yes.
Okay, great. There it is. This beautiful verse. Some of you are familiar with it. Now you can see the time of the day, maybe. Okay. Now here's the verse. And on Wednesday, we were particularly hearing of Prahlada Maharaj's appeals to the Lord, that he be kind to remove all of the various anarthas, which mean all the dirty things from our heart. Just like we clean ourselves when we're dirty, maybe we take a bath, soap, water, whatever. Similarly, we clean our hearts. Our hearts are cleansed by associating with the clean. We don't clean ourselves in dirty bath water. So we clean ourselves with clean water and soap. So that's like associating with and hearing from the Bhagavat, the pure devotee of the Lord. By their mercy, when we hear from them, our hearts become purified. And of course, this other side is there too, which Prahlada Maharaj's notable prayer last week. Om Namo Bhagavate Narashinga Namaste Jastejase Veera Vibhava Vajunak Vajadang Sakarmashan Vandaya Vandaya Tamo Grasa Grasa Om Swaha. A beautiful prayer of Prahlada Maharaj where he's appealing to the Lord, please. You know, he's got very sharp teeth and nails. He's appealing to him to please remove these obstacles in my heart. Well, there's no end, and we heard last Wednesday what enemies were. Actually, enemies are within our own heart. Envy, lust, greed, anger, illusion, madness, like that. And these are our enemies. There are other enemies too, and we're going to hear a few more of them tonight. But he's praying that they be removed from my heart, not from around me. We heard last Wednesday that Prahlada Maharaj had said to his dear beloved father, I don't know if did we hear that last Wednesday that he said to his father? Maybe we're going to hear it tonight. We'll see if maybe it's tonight, I can't remember. But how he approached his father, my dear demon dad. And then he went on to describe, you think this one's your enemy, that one's your enemy. But actually the only enemy is your own uncontrolled and restless mind. You have no other enemy. I think we can all appreciate that, but it's pretty hard, isn't it? Pretty hard defeating that enemy. Pretty daunting enemy, isn't it? Our uncontrolled and restless minds. Mind's always wandering off everywhere. And we also, because of our conditioning, we tend to react to situations. Sometimes we become angry. I'm sure we've all had times when we become internally and externally angry. Both. Because we're conditioned and we have a tendency to react to certain situations in a conditioned way. It's not our transcendental nature, it's our conditional nature. And that further implicates us, you could say, in a network of material conditional life. And sometimes we may feel envious of others or feel lusty towards others. Or maybe we get greedy sometimes, Ever had that feeling of greed? There's only 50 gulabs and, we only had one. If I store 10 before the prasadam is served, then I can keep them for later. That's just a simple example. You could have mega examples. The whole world is basically based upon greed. Greed is one of the most dangerous enemies because all the others can kind of be satisfied by various maneuvers, anger by getting angry, lust by satisfying in various ways. But greed, it can never be satisfied, no matter how much you got. It just kind of like isn't enough, is it? You want more and more, give me more and more. Pretty heavy one. And you could apply that to all things in this material. We just want more and more and more and more. And madness referring, you could say, to our, although we know our life is short-lived. We know, when we do things in our life, like right now, I don't know the exact figures, I haven't got it in front of me, but how many was it? Who was with me when I read out? How many cigarettes have been smoked? How many cigarettes have you smoked this year? You're from France. How many cigarettes? It was an unbelievable number. I mean, it's like 13 billion trillion cigarettes in 3 months have been smoked this year. Can you imagine? It's like unlimited. The figures hardly fitted on a page. It was incredible, inconceivable. And on the packet, it says, cigarettes kill. This is called madness. Madness, isn't it? And everybody knows cigarettes are good for your lungs, right? Healthy for the lungs. And still, they can't go without cigarettes. It's crazy. They're getting sick and this and that. That's called madness. Illusion is we think with the body. We think we can enjoy this world unendingly. It'll never happen to me, right? It's never going to happen to me. I don't have to worry, right? Oh, everybody else, okay, but not me. This is the illusion, the madness and illusion that we tend to be in. So these are enemies to us. We may think, oh, these are the driving forces of my, goals in life. This is what drives me on. Lust, anger, greed, envy. Yes, these are my friends. Keep me enthusiastic, right? Keep me going. So they're actually spiritually, they're enemies. So they have to be removed. And on our own, it's very difficult. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Daiviye Shugunamai Mamamai Darachaya. Very difficult to overcome. Only those who surrender unto me can overcome them. So what is the surrendering process? That we'll hear a little bit more tonight and on Monday if we're still around to hear. Tonight we're going to hear another aspect of Prahlada Maharaja's prayer. And so the first one was internal, to remove all these, let's say, illusions in my heart, all these attachments in my heart which are detrimental. Anartha mean that which is not needed. Anartho pashamam shakshad bhakti yoga hokshike. Later in this first canto, Sudha Goswami explains that the miseries that the living entity experiences are superfluous to him. That means they have nothing really to do with the soul. That's superfluous. They don't know, and people don't know what to do about it. They think that, there's nothing you can do about it. It's just adjusting it. But they're actually nothing to do with us. It's just because we're falsely, just like if we're watching now, you're watching the screen. Okay, we're trying to remember Krishna. We're trying to talk something about Krishna consciousness. But generally, when people watch the television, probably now billions of people are watching the TV or something like that, isn't it? What else can they do? They're probably stuck in front of something like that. And they're completely absorbed in it. And we've all experienced that. I was this afternoon, I didn't know where I was. I was so absorbed in what I was doing. I was working on the Kirtan Standards book. I was so absorbed in it. I didn't know where I was. I had absolutely no idea where I was when I kind of suddenly stopped to do something. I didn't know whether it was in Australia, New Zealand, India, France, America, England. I didn't know where I was, It took me about 10 seconds to realize where I was. Get so absorbed in the situation we're in. So people like that, we so much identify with our temporary situations. We think this is the reality, and we forget our real situation. It's what do they call it? Not artificial reality. What do they call this? Virtual reality. Yeah, they're talking about this now. Virtual reality. You're going to go on your holidays. It's called virtual reality holidays. They're doing it right now. Because you can't go on holiday, at least in Europe. Not like that anyway. So when you get completely absorbed in a material world like this, overwhelmed, intoxicated by it all, so it's a little hard to get out of it. Very hard. And we get really affected when you're watching the television or something and some horror movie comes on. People of nervous disposition get quite disturbed. Even though it's not real in a sense, it feels real in our hearts. Because it's in our heart where the feeling comes, in the heart. The senses, all the various senses are just like cameras. They're just like, or like radars. They're just transforming or transferring information into our heart. And it gets mixed up. According to our present conditioning, we react differently. We may become fearful, angry, lusty, elated, miserable. It could be many different things according to how that picture interacts with the condition of our heart. It's like that with everything, how you mix things. It has a reaction. So that was last week on Friday, no, this week on Wednesday. So tonight we're reading this text 9. We should be able to put it on the screen. I can't guarantee it. Can we or not? This is text number 9 of the 18th chapter, Canto 5. May there be good fortune throughout the universe, and may all envious persons be pacified. What a beautiful prayer. This is really relevant right now. May there be good fortune throughout the universe, and may all envious persons be pacified. May all living entities become calm by practicing Bhakti Yoga. Is it there?
I'm not that much.
For by accepting devotional service, they will think of each other's welfare. We're sorry about a small technical hitch here. It's our fault. For by accepting devotional service, they will think of each other's welfare. Therefore, let us all engage in the service of the Supreme Transcendence, Lord Sri Krishna, and always remain absorbed in and always remain absorbed in thought of him. Not going to get there, are we?
Don't think so. I shared the link to the Bhagavatam on the chat. So
because the other day we had it on the screen.
Yes.
You could see it, but we have to do that next time. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We apologize, Prabhupada. It doesn't look like we're able to achieve it tonight. But maybe some of you have it in the book form. If you didn't hear what I said, it's Canto 5, Chapter 18, text number 9. And we're going to read the purport now. The following verse describes a Vaishnava. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaebhyacha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Just like a desire tree. Let him do it. Can you see it now? Can you see it? On the screen, can anyone see it? Yeah, great. Thank you, Rasikananda.
Yes,
Thank you, Prabhu. Rasikananda in Wellington. He managed to get us on. Great, thanks. So this is the purport. And just at the beginning, more or less the first paragraph, just like a desire tree, a Vaishnava can fulfill all the desires of anyone who takes shelter of his lotus feet. Prahlada Maharaja is a typical Vaishnava. He prays not for himself, but for all living entities. The gentle, the envious, and the mischievous. He always thought of the welfare of mischievous persons like his father, Hiranyakashipu. Can you imagine? You know, he's thinking of the welfare of his father who's been trying to kill him in every possible way, and he's simply thinking of his welfare. We discussed, not on this one, on another one the other day, the mentality of Haridas Thakur. So it's exactly the same as Prahlad. He's just thinking of the well-wisher of those who are trying to perpetrate or try to harm him. And this is the nature of devotee. This is why it said a Vaishnava is more tolerant than a tree. A tree tolerates, right? Usually, I mean, I haven't come across. Sometimes they fall on top of us when we cut them. That's another thing. But generally speaking, they don't. You cut them and they fall down. You can imagine if you went out to the tree and you came with your chopper or your chainsaw, and the tree said, "Yeah, you think you're going to cut me down? I'm going to teach you a lesson." And suddenly the tree takes one of its branches and whack, and sends us flying 50 meters in the air with a big branch. Imagine, or suddenly when the branches come down, quelch. In one sense, the tree has the physical power, but it doesn't have any intelligence to do anything like that. It simply has to tolerate. It doesn't have much choice in general, rare exceptions. Okay, that's another subject matter, but the principle we're talking about is that more tolerant than a tree. So a tree doesn't have much choice for a start. And even if it did have a choice, the devotee is more tolerant than just tolerating. Tolerating is one thing, but the devotee is not just tolerating, he's simply thinking, how can I bless, how can I give some good fortune to this person who's trying to harm me. Can you imagine? Someone's trying to kill us, and we're just thinking, how can I help this person? This is a Vaishnava. We may not be on that platform. I can speak for myself. Somebody wrote me a letter yesterday, and I'll tell you, it was the first truthful letter, I can say, in one sense, I received. No, not say it's the first, but it was a truthful letter. They said, please accept my humble obeisances in the lust of your feet, of your lotus feet, they wrote. In the lust. They misspelled it. The real fact of the matter is we are still covered by these different degrees of lust. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. We're still covered by lust of various kinds. Lust isn't just a sexual, emotion. Lust is the very idea of seeing other things as an object for my sense enjoyment. So these coverings are still there with all of us, to some degree. So a matter of purification. How do we pure? Prabhupada says, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, how do we conquer lust? By spiritual strength. So where do we get spiritual strength from? From someone who's got it. So we'll hear about that in a minute. We'll finish this purport off. So pure devotees of the Lord, they can fulfill all of our desires. They can remove our lust, greed, anger, envy, illusion, and madness. That's terrible, isn't it? They can take away all of our material attachments. They're really cruel people. If you're attached to this material world, you better be careful associating with Vaishnavas. They can take everything away from us, materially speaking. But they don't do it prematurely. They know our condition. It's like a child, you have to treat them according to their level of maturity. We don't expect them to behave on a more mature level than their present situation. So step by step, that is their plan. They're always thinking how to deliver us, how to cut the bondage which we're presently in this. This is their mercy. For others, they think it's cruel. And people may think it's very cruel. Your Swamiji is very cruel. He's telling people they shouldn't eat meat. They shouldn't drink liquor. Terrible, huh? Can you imagine not drinking liquor? I give credit to the South African President. He's banned the sale of liquor and cigarettes in South Africa. Banned it. It's not allowed at the moment. Pretty intense, huh? Give him credit. Not that people aren't very, very happy about it, but well, he's got something. I don't know why he did it, but he's done it. So somebody raised hand for some reason. What does that mean?
It means they want to grab your attention.
Why? Hare Krishna. You have to wait a while. Maybe she's having a problem seeing it or hearing it. They don't think this is. They think this is not very good. Huh? No intoxication, controlled sex life, no gambling, no this, no that. This is a life of worse than death, isn't it? It's like there's no life left. What is there left? There's nothing left. We don't even watch television. You don't go to the parties. You don't go to the pub, the restaurants, only the Govindas. This is life worse than death. What is this? Some people think like that. They can't live without those things. Coffee, tea, a cigarette, chocolate. Oh, okay, we'll let chocolate off the hook. It's life worse than death for some people, So for the Vaishnava, he knows. It's like a parent with a child, Many of you got kids or had kids. You know what they're like. Sometimes you've got to, for their own welfare, you have to restrict them sometimes. Right, Mukunda? For your own welfare, we have to restrict you sometimes, right? It's like, they don't know. They just want to play. They just want to enjoy life, We all do. We all want to enjoy it. We're all enjoyers. Anandamoya Vyasa. We've got that in us. The parent knows there's a limit. The child has to not just play all the time. That's the spiritual world. But you got to stop. You got to eat. You got to go to bed. You got to clean yourself or get cleaned up. You got to do your homework. You got to go to school. You got to do your house chores. You got to attend some function. Like that, the parent restricts the child. Not because the parent doesn't like the child, but the parent has, materially it may not be the case, but the parent thinks that this is for the welfare of the child. Sometimes I've got to chastise the child. Because the child needs to be guided, needs to be corrected, needs to be directed, like that. The child doesn't necessarily think like that at all. A child is thinking, why are you getting in my way? And if any of you have had kids, you know what it's like. And nowadays, of course, it's worse, probably even worse. They just slam the door on you, as someone did just now. Put a sign up there, trespassers will be killed on their door or something, you know. Just slam the door behind them, you know. They get into they go into a tantrum. Yeah, they don't know what's good for them. They know temporary. It's the temporary shreyas and prayas. They only know prayas. They don't know shreyas means long-term benefit. Prayas means immediate satisfaction. Well, most of us are running on prayas. Like, get it now, get it now. Even this lifetime, in one sense, it's all prayas, or, this lifetime is just a flash in the pan, it's a momentary flick of time. But even in this lifetime, we don't often take into account long-term things. We're concerned with now. I want to enjoy now. Eat, drink, and be merry now, for tomorrow you may die. And people have this mentality sometimes, But on the bigger scale, it's there all the time. We forget that. But that correction has to be. So the parent is not the enemy of the child. The parent is actually the best well-wisher, but they don't realize it. And they throw a tantrum and they say, I hate you sometimes. They kick you. Yeah? The child sometimes kicks the mother or the father. You're trying to restrain, they're going crazy like this. Because they don't know what's good for them. So people in this world are in the same boat, basically speaking. Materially, they may have some understandings of this, that, and the other. But ultimately, we don't really know what's good for the soul. So the pure devotees do. Therefore, they're the greatest welfare wishers. They're the only ones who can help give us that shelter to protect us from this material deluge of material desire. He prays, the devotee prays not for himself, but for all living entities, the gentle, the envious, and the mischievous. Prays for everyone. He's not like selecting. And not only humans, he prays for all living entities. When Vasudeva Datta, when he was with Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he asked, great devotee of Lord Caitanya, who was actually an incarnation of Prahlada Maharaja, he prayed for this, that may my Lord, may I suffer all the reactions of all the living entities in the world. The universe, in fact. All living, not just a few humans who happen to be, in my cult or whatever it is, but all living entities in the universe. And that's quite a lot of sinful reaction. We can hardly imagine. We can't even cope with our own. What to speak of the whole universe. He said, I want to do that, my Lord, on the condition you deliver them all. You deliver them all from all suffering. Please deliver them. Take them back to God. Let me stay here for eternity and suffer. Now that's inconceivable to us. At least it is to me, maybe not to you. But I can't imagine, with all sincerity, contemplating such a proposal. I mean, I'm not. You can judge me as you wish, but I'll be quite honest. I'm not on that level. But this is the mood, and then of course Lord Caitanya said, "You don't need to do that. Just by your pure desire alone, I will deliver all the living entities, but nobody will even notice it. The universe will be filled up again with another set of jivas. It will carry on as if nothing happened, because it's the jiva that gets delivered, not the body. We're so accustomed to thinking, I am this body. I am this body, I am this mind, this is mine, this, that, the other. This is our illusion. The soul is beyond all of that. So then Prabhupada goes on here, he said, the devotee, he was even thinking of his father. This is the attitude of a Vaishnava who always thinks of the welfare of the entire universe. Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavat Dharma are meant for persons who are completely free from envy. Parama Nimatsaranam. Now you may know this verse is in the first canto of the Bhagavatam, and it won't be on the screen if you can't see it, but I'll just read the verse. The first verse is the second verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Second verse. Dharma pota koitavatra paramo nimatsaranam satam vedyam vastavam matavastadi shivadam tapatrayon mulanam. Completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated. This Bhagavat Purana propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are pure in heart. We can't understand it just by theory. is when our heart becomes pure, then we can understand. This is the essence of our Krishna consciousness. That's why we're performing in our stage, sankirtan yagna. Because the sankirtan yagna, the chanting of the holy name, purifies the heart, purifies the consciousness. As the consciousness becomes purified, we see things as they are. We can understand things clearer and clearer and clearer. It's already there, but we're not seeing it. Krishna's here in the Bhagavatam. We're not seeing him. He's there in present fully as the name, but we're not seeing him. He's present everywhere, but we're not seeing him. Because our consciousness is dirty and we're seeing according to our consciousness. We're seeing accordingly. So the whole process of sadhana bhakti is to purify our consciousness. So we begin to see things as they really are. So this is one who is pure in heart. This word mimatsaranam also has another meaning. It says here, pure in heart. It means one who is very pure in heart or free of all envy. He has no envy. In the purport, Prabhupada writes, it is purely transcendental literature which can be understood only by the pure devotees of the Lord, who are transcendental to competitive sense gratification. As soon as sense gratification becomes you can say the motive for our activities and our lifestyle, etc., there is competition. We're competing over material objects, over material position, over people, over whatever it may be. But competition comes in. The competitive sense gratification. In the material world, there is keen competition between animal and animal, man and man, community and community, nation and nation. But the devotees of the Lord rise above such competition. They do not compete with the materialist because they are on the path back to Godhead, where life is eternal and bliss. We don't waste our time trying to compete with the materialist, imitating them. We focus on our goal. Their goal is material sense gratification. Our goal is to go back to God. What is day for one is night for the other. So we concentrate on our business. They concentrate on theirs. Our business is it may look the same, but the motive is different. In the material world, everyone is envious of everyone else. Because everyone's trying to get something from each other. You've got something, I want it. Maybe your attention. Maybe I want your attention. Maybe I want your wealth. Maybe I want your so-called love, or whatever you want to call it. Maybe I want, some reward. Whatever it is, everyone's envious. Maybe I want to eat you. Animal has something we want. It has meat. We want to eat that meat. And people are envious. But the transcendental devotees of the Lord are not only free of material envy, but they are well-wishers to everyone, and they serve to establish a competitionless society with God in the center. Sometimes we hear about, communism and this and that, where they want some kind of society where people are, so say, equal rights. But that's not the case. In materially speaking, it will never work. It can't work because people by nature are self-centered. So when we can actually see Krishna in the center, this Ishavashamidam Sarvam. This is the principle of spiritual communism. When we put Krishna in the center of everything, put Krishna in the center, then we can have genuine equality. Then we can have genuine respect for others, love for all other living entities. Because one can see everyone in relationship with Krishna. This is the science of bhakti. We'll go back to the verse on the screen here. Where are we? Where do we get to? Okay, therefore Prahlada Maharaj prays. Therefore, Prahlada Maharaj prays. I can't see it on the screen, so I'm looking for it here. Where is it? Here it is. Therefore, Prahlada Maharaj prays in this verse, Kalo prasidatam. May all the envious persons be pacified. The material world is full of envious persons, but if one frees himself of envy, he becomes liberal in his social dealings and can think of others' welfare. Anyone who takes up Krishna consciousness and engages himself completely in the service of the Lord cleanses his mind of all envy. Manascha badram bhajatardat hokshate. Therefore, we should pray to Lord Nrsimhadev to sit in our hearts. We should pray all together. Vahina Shingho, Vidayena Shingho. That's what Prabhupada said there. He didn't say the whole prayer. Let Lord Nrsimhadeva sit in the core of my heart, killing all my bad propensities. Let my mind become clean, so that I may peacefully worship the Lord and bring peace to the entire world. How can we be peaceful if, how can we bring peace to the world if we're not peaceful? It's not possible. Now, okay, we're going to read one more paragraph, and then I'm going to finish speaking tonight. One more paragraph and a bit. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given us a very fine purport in this regard. Whenever one offers a prayer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one always requests some benediction from him. Even pure niskama devotees pray for some benediction. As instructed by Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu in his siksastakam. The word niskama is mentioned here. There's niskama and sakama. Most people are sakama. Sakama means that they have material desires. And even when they approach God, they have a material desire. But that's the beginning. That's not to be, criticized. But one who's on the path of pure devotional service, they don't generally take shelter of sakama, the mood of the sakama, or those who are materially motivated. They don't offer prayers which are materially motivated. But for those who are on the material platform, they will offer prayers that are materially motivated. And it is a stepping stone towards pure devotional service, if they're guided by pure devotees in the long term, so to speak. But for devotee, niskama devotees, they don't petition the Lord. My dear Lord, please give me this, please give me that, please give me this, please give me that, materially speaking. They may be praying to the Lord, please give me devotional service. Please cleanse my heart. Or they may be praying for the welfare of others. They may be praying for other devotees. It's something, it may not be completely pure, but it's on the path of more niskama, more selfless, pure prayers without any demand attached to it, materially demand, anything like that. But there may still be an element of materialism involved in it. It's natural. To go from sakama to niskama is not overnight. It takes gradual transformation of our consciousness and our desire. So, but the pure devotees, they pray. Lord Caitanya prayed like this. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam buddho O son of Mahajananda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or another I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from the ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms of your lotus feet. So I'm going to finish the reading from the purport now. We can go back onto the full screen, please.
Yes, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Welcome back if you haven't, if you're still there. So this is a very wonderful prayer of Prahlada Maharaja, a prayer which we can all repeat, even if we don't have that sentiment of Prahlada Maharaja or Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj. Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj has the same mood. I mean, you can read many of his, you could say, statements. So statements like we should wish only the highest benefit and welfare for our greatest enemies. Or we should think of only the best for them, no matter who they are. That's the mood of a pure devotee. But we may not be on that platform, but that's the mood of the pure devotee. So I'm going to open up now. By following those pure devotees, we may develop that mood. So if anyone would like to ask any questions, or if it's the questions from last week, I never got them last Wednesday. You said you had them.
It was the last one on Sarvadharma Parityajya. What is the meaning of this?
Yeah, but then there were some more on the screen, I think.
Okay.
So we're gonna work it out, how we can hold those questions for next time. There must be a way of doing it.
We have some questions, Maharaj.
Okay, great. We've got some wonderful devotees here asking. We'll see what they're wonderful or not. We'll see what they say. They're wonderful devotees. So this question is I guess it's quite a common one amongst us. We need to think of each other's welfare, but what to do if competing mood prevails based on jealousy to other devotees and desire of social acceptance? So yeah, it's basically self-centered. What do we do if we're still self-centered? Because a desire for social acceptance or being jealous of others are just two different effects, you could say, of being self-centered or still being, a little bit on the egotistical platform, we could say. Well, what to do? There are processes of practical activities which we can perform, of course, which we do hear about. One of the most important things is to come together for kirtan. Now, this will be the subject matter of the next class, more or less, at least the predominant part of it, of the effects of actually coming together and focusing our consciousness on the holy name. Because when we focus our consciousness on the holy name, not only does it purify our hearts in the sense that we hear about, Prahlada Maharaja, etc. Not only has it perhaps been some relief to us and some pleasure to us, but it actually does have this effect of removing this root problem. The root problem is our envy of Krishna. Everything else is an effect of that. Because the root problem is envy of Krishna. Envious of other living entities, or jealousy on a more specific platform, you could say, and pride, wanting to be, socially accepted, etc. Only natural in this material world, because we're conditioned, we've forgotten Krishna. So the real solution is this: we have to become free of our envy of Krishna. So by coming together in kirtan, hearing Bhagavatam together, chanting together, and other things together if we can. Maybe we can't because it's too intense. We don't want to be in the same kind of direct circle. But at least when it comes to Harinam Kirtan in the temple or in the street or wherever we are, some festival, coming together and chanting, Prabhupada says, at least during that time, we become freed of envy of others. That goes away, even pride, because pride can be everywhere. But if we're concentrated on the sound of the holy name, even pride, all these things go in, they become gradually, step by step, purified. They go into the background. And we can actually, our whole heart becomes pure. We start to realize what to be envious or jealous of others and want to be socially accepted is actually a trap. It's actually not at all for our benefit. And when we start to realize that, then what we're going to do, we'll feel repentant. We'll start to pray to the Lord for His mercy, because without His mercy, we can't get free. This material energy is very hard to overcome. Only those who surrender unto me can cross beyond it. Because Krishna carries a living entity, one who's trying his best. He's the one who picks us up, takes us out of this, this forest of illusion where we're covered by pride and envy and so on and so forth. What else can we do other than that? Take shelter of the holy name. If we can perform some practical activities by rendering some service to them, giving them some gift, being kind, so on and so forth, etc., etc. Finding the good qualities in others and not just looking for their faults. Finding the faults in ourselves and not just trying to advertise the good qualities. Revealing our mind to others in confidence and hearing from others. These activities can help cleanse our heart or develop positive relationships with devotees as well. But primarily, coming together with Krishna in the center, instead of ourselves in the center. Worshipping the deity and so on. All these various activities are for this reason. But together, when we do it on our own, many times this tendency is there, then the general practice will be that we'll maintain these particular feelings towards others. In fact, they can increase. We may sometimes become more proud. We may become even more envious of others, or more finding even more faults in others. So coming together for kirtan, prasadam, Bhagavatam class, serving others as much as we can, prayer, like that, taking shelter of Krishna, putting Him in the center. Next one. Is that it? Is this the next one?
Yes, Maharaj.
Dear God, brothers and sisters, and anyone else who happens to be there, thank you for the lecture. Is preaching for our own purification or the benefit of others? Because one may not have the intention of benefiting others or being engaged in service, but he still has to do it as sadhana. And if he does not consider the benefit of others, what would be the use of his preaching? We have to understand what preaching means. We sometimes think I'm preaching. But Prabhupada said one time, I am the preacher, you are simply assisting. We're assisting Prabhupada. What do we have? We have nothing. We're trying to assist Srila Prabhupada in spreading Krishna consciousness. We're still attached to the material world also. People we're talking to are maybe completely attached, and we're somewhere in between. But we're still attached. So what can we preach? But we're passing on the message. We're like the postman passes on the pure message. Now, of course, to the degree that we're maturing in Krishna consciousness, obviously the more it will have our personal effect will be there as well to inspire people. But in principle, anyone who's assisting the pure devotee of the Lord is preaching Krishna consciousness. It's not a question of just speaking or distributing books or whatever you call it. Prasadam, great, but it's more than that. It's actually representing the spiritual master or the pure devotees of the Lord in a way that they be pleased. Preaching means to please Krishna ultimately, or please Radharani. Actually, it means to please Radharani. I think we mentioned this the other night, I'm not sure, but someone we did. It means to please Radharani. That's what preaching means. So nothing pleases her more than when Krishna is pleased, and Krishna is pleased when his parts and parcels are reunited with him. So we're doing that act, and by doing the act, it has the effect upon us. And I would like to read that to you tonight, but I'm going to do that on Monday if we can. This subject matter will be taken up again on Monday. So the question is relevant to Monday especially, but that's the basis of it, that we're assisting and associating with the pure devotees. So preaching, activities of that kind are purifying to us and they're purifying to others, whether we know it or we don't know it. It's not the point. The point is, if it's actually pleasing to the pure devotee, it's preaching, and if it's not preaching. And even if we call it preaching, it's not. Preaching is not just an activity, it is the activity which pleases the pure devotee of the Lord. Next one.
That's it, Maharaj.
Any other questions anyone like to type in? There was somebody from the other day. What is this?
No, these are only 2 questions.
Okay. If anyone wants to type anything anytime now, you can. Otherwise, we're going to have a little bit more kirtan. And then we'll answer more questions if there's anything after the kirtan. Are you ready? Are you ready? You okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now try to be as envious of others as you can, okay? Try to see yourself in the center. You're the enjoyer. Everyone else is your enemy and a rascal. You have to be as envious as you can of them all, okay? Even the ones sat next to you. I can see them. Yes, Prema. This is where Prema lies. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Take a tissue, blow your nose.
Krishna Krishna,
Can they see me?
Hare
Can you see me? Yes, ma'am.
Clap your hands. Haribo! Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Follow. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Just imagine we're going down the River Thames now on a boat, okay? Oh, I mean the River Yamuna. Down the Hudson River, I can see you there in New York. Down the Pasig, I can see you there in Manila. The Pasig River. Oh, the sixth pig. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Gauranga.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Haribo. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Come on, smile there. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Govinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, hey! Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Gauranga, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Oh Premanande, Oh Madam Mohan, it's time for your bed. What are you doing at this time? So, as I said earlier, for those in New Zealand, Australia, Asia, that part of the world, we will, next week, I assure you, one day next week, we'll let you know. We'll have a program for your timeline. Which means we somewhere in the evening rather than the early morning. But we'll carry on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Krishna willing, with these programs in the evening. And we look forward to seeing you all, hearing from you all free. So feel free to, through this method, write any questions you may have. We're not going to embarrass anyone with names, unless you want to. But you can ask any questions you like, and we'll try to share with you. Whatever we can do, we'll do. Thank you all so much. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Maharaj.
I want everyone to consider this Maharaj. In this day and age that we're in now, where there are millions of people suffering, billions in fact, in the world today, suffering for various things. Thank you. Directly from coronavirus or something like it. Others are suffering from fear. Others because their sense of enjoyment is being restricted. Others because of financial reasons. So many different reasons are there. People are suffering like that. Others are working in hospitals. I have at least, I think, 5 or 6 disciples who are working in coronavirus department. Not maybe right now, but daily, working in there. And one of them is working in the most dangerous one in the UK. So, you know, let's say a prayer for everybody, not just for, you know, Hare Krishna, yes, we say that is for everyone. But let us also think for the welfare of everyone. They're in ignorance. Whatever they're in, they're in. But that doesn't mean they should stay there. It doesn't mean that everyone should stay in ignorance. They're meant, everyone has the right to feel loving relationship with Krishna. And the more we ourselves have that feeling, we want to achieve that, and we want others to also receive that. This should be our desire, to see everybody happy. Prabhupada said their business of their movement is to be happy and see everyone else happy. But that doesn't mean materially speaking only, if not at all, really. It means spiritually. So let us pray for the spiritual welfare of everyone. That somehow or another, that they're, you know, whatever their situation is now, that somehow or another they can come to realize that there's more to life. There's a spiritual side to life, which is the real side to life, where real happiness lies, where real brotherhood lies, where real compassion lies, where real love lies, the service, everything lies there. In this world, it is all simply a dream. It comes one minute and goes the next. So try to feel this compassion, this feeling. We can repeat the prayer and the mood of Prahlada Maharaja. We may not be feeling like that in one sense, but by repeating these prayers, by meditating on the behavior of the pure devotees, by hearing from pure devotees, we may gradually come to that platform of genuine Krishna consciousness and genuinely being concerned for the welfare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Haribo! Hare Krishna. Merci beaucoup. Hare Krishna. Haribo.